Tantreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Makankarati Vachalam Pangullangayate Girim Jatkipatamaham Bande Sri Gurudina Tarinam Sri Chaitanya Isharam Paramananda Madhavam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataru Vesha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So while I was reading few of the Srila Prabhupada's purport, and I was also noticing Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's wonderful explanation on chanting. I think I mentioned that before, but it's so addictive, that sentence that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur mentioned. To worship Sri Krishna without Srimati Radharani, it is improper and imperfect. In other words, the idea, like when our Acharya, they say Krishna or Sri Krishna, they don't mean Krishna alone. Because Prabhupada said always that Krishna is never alone when we say Krishna. Krishna means Srimati Radharani inside him at that time. All the Shakti, Bhagisha Jasya Vadane, Lakshmi Jasya Bhakshasi, Jasyaste Hridaya Sambit. That Sambit potency in the heart, Lakshmi is on the chest, the Bhagdevi, that when we speak on his lips, all the energies, all the potencies unlimited in the body of Krishna. Krishna ek sarvasray, Krishna sarvadham, Krishna sarive sarva vishya vishram. Krishna is the shelter of entire creation, material, spiritual. Everything exists, there is nothing exists beside him. So with that understanding, that when we utter the name Krishna, Hare Krishna, we are not uttering the name a letter or some alphabet. It is Krishna, not just the form, but the substance. Because as Bhagavan Das asked the question to Srila Prabhupada, how the result of when your chanting is connected to the absolute, then proportion to your conscious acceptance means how much we understood, how much we believe, and how much we actually maintain that belief. That much result will be produced by each individual. So we can be 10 devotees together in one room chanting. We will get completely different result from each other. It depends on our individual understanding. So in this verse, Prabhupada gives a very good clue. Etan nirveddamananam. Etan nirveddamananam means those who are completely free from the material desire. Anna vilashita srinnam bhakta. Ichchatam, and those who have a desire to enjoy. Now there are 4 types of, I would say, human being who come to approach Krishna consciousness. How do I word it in a very short? One is, they have a detachment from the world and detachment also from Krishna. So they have infection of impersonalism. In one lecture, Prabhupada said even the impersonal Mayavadis, now they are also joining in our movement. Of course, we are not going to investigate which devotee, are impersonalist Mayavadis. At least they have come, they will become pure, definitely. But idea is self-examination. If I don't have an attachment to Krishna, then still impersonalism is there. If I don't have an affection for Krishna, impersonalism is there. If I am not giving attention to holy name, impersonalism is there. So detachment from this world is not enough. Attachment to Krishna has to be there. Then so one group is they're detached from this world, they're detached also from Krishna. So they are impersonalist. Then another group is they are attached to Krishna and attached to material world also, sense enjoyment. They are in a bigger scale called sahajiyas, in a mini scale called regular devotee, who in the mind thinking to enjoy this, material facility, whatever it is, good house, good opposite gender, whatever the facility, they do amongst us. I come from that angle, so I can relate. We want to be a devotee. We also want to enjoy. We won't say it, but deep down in the heart is there. So they are called materialistic or sahaja mentality devotee. They are not pure devotee yet. Because they have an attachment to both. They have an attachment to Krishna. They won't give up Krishna consciousness. They will hang in. They will linger for decades, life after life. They will not give up. They don't want to give up. They love Krishna, but they also love material enjoyment. That's a fact in a reality. So these are called materialistic devotee, but they are devotee. Then other group, I said impersonalists, they are not attached either one. They are detached from everything. They are detached from the sense enjoyment. Looks like they are very nice, brahmachari, nastic, all this, whatever. But at the same time, they are also not attached to Krishna. They are detached also there. It's impersonalism, whatever proportion, because Prabhupada used the word proportion to our conscious acceptance. Means I am aware where I am at my consciousness level. Then in between, there is another two group. There's one group, they are detached from Krishna, attached to the material world. They are called materialist, pure. They have no touch of devotee. There are many karmis in this world, or I would say majority people in this world. They are not interested. They're detached from Krishna, but attached to the material. So then there is another group who are attached to Krishna, detached from the material world. They are called pure devotee. And Krishna says, rewarded, when you love me more than the world, I will take you out of the world. So experiencing pure name at that level, that love for Krishna, affection for Krishna, intention and attention to holy name, more than this world, then Mukhanam or pure name, the Mukhanam means the Krishna's name has a two distinct division. In Harinam Chintamani, there's a famous verse, hope I can remember, it says, Tumita Chinmaya Surja Tumara Sarup Sampurna Chinmaya Tatta Heya Puru. Sarvatra Chinmaya Tava Sri Vigrahaya Nama Dhama Lila Tava Sampurna Chinmaya. That I'm going to translate those two lines and then go to the next one. It's very sweet. It says that Krishna, his name, his holy dham, these are all transcendental. What do you mean transcendental? There's a difference between spiritual and transcendental. There's a difference between material and spiritual. There's a difference between transcendental and spiritual also. Because we can be spiritual, but if I don't have a devotional mentality to Krishna, to serve him, I did not transcend these three modes, then I'm not devotional yet. I can be spiritual if I still have no attention to the deity, to the holy name. I can be spiritual, but not really devotional. Devotional means transcendent. Devotion, the word devotional is very unique. And Rupa Goswami Pada explained this, that it pleases Krishna. Devotion pleases Krishna. Spiritual not necessarily pleases Krishna. Because impersonalist, Brahmavadi, they are also spiritualist. But they don't have a devotion to Krishna. They believe in Krishna in a sense to get out of the material world. They will do puja, they will do all kinds of things. And they're spiritual. It's fine, we accept. But devotional means they are devotee, have to have a bhakti, have to have a affection, have to have a... Guru Anugata means that. Guru Anugata, the Saranagata to Guru means developing some intention, attention, and affection. Has to be there. This verse in the purport, Prabhupada explains. So, translation of this Bhaktivinoda Thakur song, that holy name is always transcendental, and it's very most astonishing. Most astonishing in a sense, all the experience in this world are material. What does that mean, material? Material in a sense that I'm speaking right now through my mouth. So there is a demigod involved. Gopal Radhe Prabhu helped me to do a drawing on those demigods. That was very nice. And so when whatever practical service we are doing, we are engaging these senses. For an example, I'm speaking, the word, in order for word to come out, there has to be, only thing I'm doing is a desire. I want to chant Hare Krishna. Actually, I'm not, the sound that coming out is not me. So that's why consciousness has to be purified. It's very technical. I am desiring to chant. The soul is inside this body and the soul wants to chant. So desiring. Then the fire god creating this vibration. And then this air god or wind, you can say, taking that sound and entering in my ear. So when I'm paying attention, oh, I'm chanting Hare Krishna. Oh, I'm chanting. If I am not paying attention, I'm not even chanting, whether I'm chanting or not. It's just the desire, the soul is desiring, but the sound in the mouth is an organ. Mouth is an organ. Mouth is speaking the holy name. But in between the mouth and the soul, there is another person called mind. Mind could be thinking like, what is that person doing there? What is this going on here? What is this fire truck doing here? Now, who is chanting? The mind is in between. See, the link has to be there. Between the soul and this organ, mouth, the link has to be there. The mind has to be Krishna conscious. Mind has to chant. So that's why Prabhupada said very scientifically, he said, hear when you chant. In order to hear, the mind has to be focused. Someone sometimes say, well, I have a bad habits of inattention. What we need to do, we don't need to worry about bad habit. We need to develop good habit. Good habit becomes that attentive, because inattentions are three types, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes. One is called distraction. One is called laziness. Laziness in a sense like I'm chanting, but somebody else is here, I started talking and not finishing my rounds. And I may put the beat even halfway chanting or whatever. Not even. This is a laziness. I can finish later. Inattention. Something else I'm busy for. So mind has to be focused. And in this sloka, Prabhupada gives a very nice. So let me read this translation, then I'll go back. O King, Srila Prabhupada translate, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desire, those who are desires of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied, a dint of transcendental knowledge. So wonderful. So whatever problem we have, that's not the issue here, it says. Whether you have no desire or so much desire, or you don't care, whatever it is, all are included in that verse. But what is the internal process? It says follow the process the Acharyas has given. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, from this sloka, this Harinam Chintamani that came out, so wonderful, that in that says, Tava Mukha Nam Tumate Avinna. Now, when I say Hare Krishna, if I do not know any Krishna's quality or Krishna's greatness or glorification or his pastimes, then not possible that can be Mukhanam. Mukhanam means has to have a relationship. Without relationship, no name of Krishna is Mukhanam. They will be considered Gaunanam. It's not just by the alphabet, Srishtikarta, even Jagannath name is there. He is the Lord of Jagat. But one day Jagat will be finished. Then what happened to the Lord of the Jagat? The relationship with the devotee in Golok Vrindavan, those names are Mukhanam. So when I'm chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I have to be fully aware of the glory of the Lord. It was very interesting. I think in the one of the Srila Prabhupada famous quote, I don't remember exactly, but I remember Prabhupada said, when we go out, we're not going out to entertain people. And Srutakirti Prabhu remembered that very well. He said, we go there, the principle of chanting, Prabhupada said, is to glorify the Lord. And not to attract a crowd. But it looks like we go there for Hari name, for a crowd. Internal desire and external function is two things. Internal desire to invite the Lord by glorifying Him. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, Siddha Deho Diya Vrindavana Maje Seva Amrita Karadana Piyaiya Prema Matta Kari Loke Sunaho Nija Gunagana. Now you can literally, bordering to Lord Krishna, that please give me the result of the holy name. And if Krishna asks, why should I give you? What did you do? Who are you? Of course, you have to always express your identity not as you, but as a follower, disciple of your Guru. Do not ever approach holy name as you. Always approach under a great Senapati Bhakta. I am Srila Prabhupada's Shiksha disciple. Prabhupada said this for 10,000 years. All the soul can claim like this. I am a follower, Shiksha disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Holy name immediately will recognize you. So he says, Piyaya prema matta kori more sunaho nijo gunagana. You love to hear, Krishna, you love to hear your glory. Because that makes you happy in a sense. Krishna knows the soul will come back home. So Krishna feels happy when we know his glory, when we know his quality, his characteristics. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was actually bartering in a sense that, please give me this. And he's giving a dialogue that if Krishna said, why should I give? He said, because you love to hear those wonderful quality you have. How Brajavasis are so happy. They always, the word is called duhe kore hurahuri. They are competing to please who can please who. Krishna is trying to compete to please all the Brajavashi and Brajavashi trying to please him. So there is a constant competition, transcendental competition, which is wonderful. So Prabhupada writes, the principle of chanting is to glorify the Lord, not to attract the crowd. If Krishna hears nicely, then he will ask some sincere devotee to gather in such place. So nice, wonderful quote Prabhupada put. Of course, we may say, well, we don't have enough faith, or we have a lot of doubt. I mentioned that last time also, how faith and doubt you can, do not look what you have. Look what your Guru has, what Prabhupada has, and what Krishna has. More we focus on them while chanting, while serving the holy name, then those things will have a bridge, not what we have. Oh, I don't have this. No, stop complaining. It actually helps. I practically even try, and it works very well. When we focus our grateful attitude to our gurus, Srila Prabhupada, and all this, in order to give you some idea, I made some question, I found some question answer of this Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's purport. So, for an example, these things should be contemplation. Then automatically will draw their attention and their quality, their greatness, their dedication. First question is, when does a living entity attain auspiciousness? What Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur answered in his book, only when Bhakti Vikas Maharaj has complete of those. Only when one takes shelter at the lotus feet of our spiritual master. So in the morning when we get up, when we take the Japamala, first thing is obeisances to Guru. Guru's glory has to be reflecting in the mind. You want the mind to be controlled? Mind hates spiritual glory because mind is a direct agent of Maya. Mind likes to take you somewhere. That's the job. Don't blame mind. But we have to be intelligent enough to engage intelligent to engage the mind, because without mind we cannot be delivered. Uddharet atma atmanayam 6.5 Prabhupada gave that very nice. We are riding on the mind. It's important that mind is fully focused. Then our journey is over. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, first thing is focus on the lotus feet of spiritual master. Every disciple should find one quality of their Guru in the morning before they start chanting. One quality that endearing, attractive. Then accept Krishna's service. So when we chant the holy name, it is a serving to the Lord. Service attitude has to be there. Not like I'm going to count that I'm finishing my rounds. No, service means pleasing the person. When you serve the person, make sure the person is pleased. So service attitude, soul and soul does absolute truth come within one's control. Then question may rise, how will one attain perfection in one lifetime if we do this? One answer is also given, one can certainly attain perfection in one lifetime by sincerely worshipping the holy name under Guru's guidance, giving up one's independence. See, why did Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur mention this? Looks like a redundant. No, it is not, because we have to have, in order to mind to be controlled, you have to have a negative and positive. You say, okay, I'm a servant of Guru. Also, you have to say, I'm not belong to anybody, just my Guru and Krishna. You have to have both. Otherwise, you'll say, well, I'm for myself. The majority materialist means they think for themselves. Who you working for? For you, for me. They always think of this me and my bodily extension, whatever, the family and other. So then question comes, how can one know the supreme holy name, glory of Supreme Lord? Then Srila Prabhupada gives, one should faithfully hear Harikatha. When we read Srila Prabhupada book, that is also hearing. So you read loud, you'll get double benefit. Prahlad Maharaj says in Bhavan Puran, very nice, that you get double benefit when you chant, when you read louder, that you can hear, that the mind will be captured that time. So one should faithfully hear Harikatha from the spiritual master's mouth. Spiritual master doesn't mean you put spiritual master as a form. The intention, the Krishna conscious person can manifest through your God brother, to God sister, to any devotees, that Guru's teaching can manifest. We should be paying attention to that. Oh, that God brother is serving Guru so nicely. What is his realization? That realization will affect us. It is important. We should not be just fanatic to the form only. Srila Prabhupada told to Vishnujan Swami, I want to come back to hear from you, you chanting, your explanation. Why? What Vishnujan Swami, we can put materially, but Prabhupada found some nice attraction. So this is very important. Then question may come, what current of thought allows one to attain auspiciousness? Because we have a two current within us right now. Two opposite current, not just two current, two opposite current. One current is, I want to chant purely, I want to please the holy name. Other current is, I want to just finish the rounds and do my things or other things. It's like an opposite mentality. One is to please, one is just to finish the job so we can do something else. This opposite current is there within us. Question is, you can never destroy those opposite current until we get the spiritual entrance and spiritual body, Suddha Sattva contact. So what should we do before? Constantly focus on the current that going towards spiritual. The opposite current will be there within you. You can detect, oh, there is opposite current. I want to finish one more round so I'm at least completed this 16 mala, but my body is saying tired, I should rest and do it later. No, this is a mind talk. Must finish that rounds, must finish that rounds. When Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was asked that, oh, there's so much service, we cannot even get enough time to sleep, but we need to finish our rounds. What should I do? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur suggested, sleep less. They don't even get enough time, he says. He said, then cut down more. but must complete your rounds. But mind will not agree. The opposite current is there within you. So who do we take shelter? That is each of us has to decide. So if we see the material world as if we are Lord's servant, we will no longer feel distress. This is a very nice. By sincerely worshipping the Lord, by fully surrendering to Him. Surrendering means when I chant Hare Krishna, okay, I want to serve the holy name. That is surrender. Surrender is not like something else. Surrender has a 6 aspect. 1, 2 are functional, 4 are internal. 2 are functional is what am I willing to do that will bring pleasure to the holy name. Or if I put attention and remember the affection of the holy name, how holy name deliver everyone. Holy name is so powerful. Holy name is not just a word, it is a real person, ultimate substance. So this willingness to focus like this, it is the sign of surrender. And that unwanted desire, unwanted thing that going to intervene inside this sacred area while I'm chanting, between me and the Lord, I'm serving, I will not allow. I'll bark like a dog and chase them away. This 2 principle is the symptom of surrender. These are very important. Anukulesya sankalpa pratikulesya varjanam. But I translate into my way of thinking, the way I see it in my practical life, day to day when we serve. So as the Lord's devotees see through devotion-filled eyes the form of Shyam Sundar, Krishna in their heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave 4 principles. Shyamam eva param rupa. Amongst all the form, the bluish is not like Krishna is not like a little boy, blue colored boy. In one sense he is, but that's not what holy name that blue boy is. It's not like you take the blue boy and see everything. You have to see the relationship through the eye of Shastra. How everything is connected with Krishna. There is a common thread going. And Krishna, by his quality, by his intelligence, even in opposite direction. For an example, like Fisher mentioned, Fisher mentioned, when Prabhupada went there was a big painting. In the painting, there was a, not an attractive painting, it was a naked picture of a girl and a boy. But Prabhupada was staring at it for a quite long time. And Badrinaran Maharaj remembers, he said a lot of sannyasi like didn't want to look, they just trying to divert, but they cannot leave Prabhupada. Prabhupada is looking at the painting, what to do, like a very turmoil in a sense. After some time, Prabhupada says, Krishna is so intelligent. He gave the empowerment because Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, it's a buddhi matam. Amongst the intelligent, I am the intelligent, Krishna says. So Prabhupada found Krishna in that man who is the beautiful artist, painter, drawn this naked picture of a woman. Now, there is Krishna Prabhupada found. And everybody, of course, the devotee was a little dumbstruck how Prabhupada found Krishna in there. So we have to see Krishna in everywhere, everything that way. Not like you know, photocopy clone, like a blue boy in everything. That is not what Krishna meant. When you say the holy name is everywhere, in that sense, yes. So Lord's devotees see through devotion-filled eyes the form of Shyam Sundar Krishna in their hearts. If we associate with such devotees, receive their mercy, we will also come to see the Lord in our hearts. We should not waste any more time, but should be constantly eager to serve the Lord in the association of devotees. If we remain ever in the association of the devotees, our propensity to serve the Lord will only increase. It's very interesting. Hiranyakashipu told this to Prahlad Maharaj, and Rupa Goswami Pad actually put this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that association is like a spotic. Spotic is like a crystal. Wherever you put the crystal, it takes the color of that area. If you put the crystal in a red room, it will look like a red. Blue room, blue. That's very interesting. So who we associate while chanting, of course, everybody associate with the mind the most, more than anybody else. They listen the mind also more than anybody else. So we have to, first thing is that we have to regulate our mind through Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, our association is not physical. I can be next to my guru, doesn't mean I'm getting completely empowerment by guru. Is that consciousness, how to please that person who is Krishna conscious as guru. Guru is Krishna conscious person. He's not just the form. So that awareness will actually give our intention very properly situated with the attention. Then we will actually please him. Because it's the internal current has to be flowing to that side. We should not waste any more time. That's what Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says. But should be constantly eager to serve the Lord, holy name, in the association of devotee. If we remain ever in the association of the devotee, our propensity to serve the Lord will only increase. So I can also add in that if some association you feel they're talking something that you feel like not encouraged to chant, you leave. That is not a good association. It doesn't matter whether they have a tilakam or they have a devotional attire or whatever. If the association is bringing close to Guru and Krishna, even though that atmosphere may be not good, but that is best. That is best. So we have to go from that angle. Not like I like my buddies, I want to hang around with my buddies. But with my buddies, do I feel more attraction to serve the holy name? If not, that is not a buddies. That is actually mind created a diversion. I may not be able to see it spiritually, materially, but I should focus and be serious. So naturally the question comes, then how will be liberated from that situation? Well, without Supreme Lord's mercy, no one can be delivered from the material existence, period. Without the mercy of holy name, nobody can deliver. The moment we forget that we are his eternal servant, we begin to serve Maya. The moment we forget the holy name, we are actually serving Maya. It's very interesting. The only way to become liberated from this formidable material existence is to approach the spiritual master and Vaishnavas, inquire from them submissively, and hear Krishna Katha from them with the service attitude. By hearing Krishna Katha with devotion, the propensities we have to enjoy matter will be destroyed in due course of time. What is the path of auspiciousness in our life? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur in Bhakti Vaibhav, he writes, to surrender to the Supreme Lord in happiness and in distress is the only path of auspiciousness. Nice prasadam, nice program, everybody is happy. But no prasadam today, or fasting day, doesn't encourage a lot of people. Only those who are convinced they are going together and they will keep on going. Like Gaur Kishore Das Babaji told to his servant, well, he didn't have actually personal servant, but time to time many people came to serve him. He said, tomorrow is a big day, PANDAVA NIRJALA. He said, yeah. What are we going to do? He said, we'll do a big festival. Baba, how are we going to do big festival? We don't have money, we don't have we have to arrange so many things. He said, no, you don't understand. To do big festival, we want to draw the attention of the Lord, holy name. How? By chanting non-stop till tomorrow morning. But invite people, come and we'll have a big festival. So, but then people will be thinking festival means they want prasadam, they want this, that, so enjoyment party. So yes, by kirtan, chanting, glorifying Krishna. That's how we are going to do this. So, of course, I didn't hear what the result is, how many people came. But the idea they have is very far. But Prabhupada is very merciful. Prabhupada is so merciful. He said the purpose of fasting is not just fasting. Purpose of fasting, it means demand of the body is less. Don't give too much attention of the bodily demand. More attention to hear about Krishna, Govinda. That is the purpose of fasting. PANDAVA NIRJALA is good. Those who are doing complete fast, I salute them. I did that also many years, and that's the plan I have also. But I'll understand that purpose of EKÀDAŞީ, PANDAVA NIRJALA or whatever, is not just to do fasting. It's feasting in Krishna consciousness. More hearing about Krishna, more Krishna's wonderful pastimes, more Krishna philosophy. That is feasting. One time Srila Prabhupada was speaking so much Harikatha in Vrindavan Krishna Balaram temple. The Kirtan, the Harikatha was going so much, Prabhupada actually kept his eyes closed. He didn't realize how many actually disciples were gathering through the windows, through the balconies, through the here, there, because there is not enough room in the room, inside his room. So after some time, he hears some commotion. He opened his eyes. He saw the cook from downstairs, like, move, move, I need to talk to Prabhupada. He's making some noise. Prabhupada said, whatever you want, please talk to your president, temple president or GBC. Why you are disturbing here? Said, Prabhupada, I need to talk to you. So what is your problem? Problem is you. Oh, then Prabhupada gave attention. Me? Okay, come. What do you have to say? He said, Prabhupada, you are speaking so nice about Harikatha, but generally 9 o'clock devotee take prasadam, and now it's 12:30. There is no time to cook because there is no pots to cook. We have one big pot and they are all filled still. Nobody ate any. Your Harikatha going on for so many hours. And then Prabhupada smiled and he looked around. He saw the windows, doors, balcony, everything is packed. Everybody's like trying to hear what Prabhupada is saying for hours. Then Prabhupada smiled. He said, this is nice. When your attraction to hear about Krishna more than the prasadam, then you are success. All right, you all go take prasadam. But Prabhupada made it very wonderful. He said, this is wonderful. So we should shoot for that. Today is a EKÀDAŞީ. We should chant extra rounds. How many rounds? Keep on going. While you are chanting, if you are sick, you are getting purified. If you die, you are going to spiritual world. What is loss? No loss. Only gain and gain and gain. We should never underestimate this chanting. So we need to focus our mind. That's the only battle you will have in kirtan or japa or whatever. So you have to come up with a way. One thing you can do, mind is energized by what is fed. I noticed that. That is, whatever stimuli it takes in. In one sense, mind is constantly being fed something or the other. But most of the stimuli coming to it nowadays fill it with, I would say, impulsive or self-destructive energy. I notice within me. And feeding the mind, therefore, refers to exposing it to stimuli that will fill it with a reflective and constructive energy. Find the identity of holy name. Who that person holy name is. What a glorious, merciful that holy name Lord is. We can feed our mind such food by earmarking daily time for studying Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, meditating on a sacred sound centered on potent mantras. Srila Prabhupada even said sometime, if some mantra, actually you are attracted, chant those mantras before you start chanting the holy name. They will bring your attention. Taking in similar stimuli centered on the all pure divinity Krishna holy name. Also, another way I noticed, you do some fencing. Given the way today's world is arranged, we cannot avoid all distracting stimuli. That's a fact. Even this morning, I opened my phone, there is a Facebook, man. It's like unnecessary people like mind is like trying to take you away from Krishna consciousness. We can, still we can, and should fence, fence. Brahmatirtha Prabhu taught me, he says, good fence makes good neighbor. Make a good fence between Maya and Krishna. You build a good fence. Good fence, the stimuli that are especially distracting for us. Such fencing can prevent those stimuli from reaching our mind and our mind from reaching them. Since most damaging stimuli nowadays come to us from our devices, computer, whatever, the cell phone everybody has, we may need to limit what sites we visit, what sites we see. We may need to implement such limits, not just by our own willpower, but also by external support, such as accountability partners or screen regulating apps. And this is necessary. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he suggested in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saying, Mahaprabhu says, we need to put a beautiful fence, very strong fence, where we can serve the holy name very healthy. Otherwise, and we have to always think how to stay away from unhealthy stimuli. And with that note, with such feeding and fencing, if we strive to focus our mind on doable, constructive tasks, we will succeed. And such success will not increase our confidence in our focusing capacity, but also build a momentum which will increase that capacity. So I'll end here. I'll just by saying you, please, to better focus the mind, feed it with healthy spiritual stimuli. Not like a inattention. Oh, I don't care. I'm just uttering name. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, you have to feed Krishna's quality, Krishna's glorification, constant. What you heard from your guru, what you heard from Prabhupada, what you heard from acharyas. At the same time, fancy it from an unhealthy sensual stimuli. These two things, if we do, guarantee success. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bo.
Great, thank you so much. Wow, such amazing points. I know you have to.
Asked to sing a little bit of kirtan here for 1 hour. Oj, przesunę skórę tam. No, samo smanjio pač dole meni nas. Svetle. We're on now. Okay. Hare Krishna, dearest devotees. Our humble obeisances to all of you and to all exalted Vaishnavas there online, and to everyone who is here online. And attain the goal of life, or like every morning a devotee said, it's a Krishna prema. It's to reawaken the love of God, or at least to become aware that something what we really truly need in the core of our hearts. So I wanted to start that what came to me. I wanted to start with this one story, and it's one of my favorite stories, which really gives us some really nice attitude, so that we can, when we sit to chant individually, or especially when we sit to chant in Kirtan, how we can create the wonderful atmosphere where everyone is appreciated, and everyone is how to say, we are the servants, like Krishna said. The someone who is saying that he is my devotee, he's actually not my devotee, but that one who says that he's devotee of my devotee, he is my devotee. So this is some start of the mood, and let me share with you this wonderful story. The story goes like this. There was one. The story is called The Singing of the Frog. It's really very wonderful story, which helped me a lot in my chanting, and individually, and also in Kirtan. So it goes like this. There was one priest, and he was very powerful because of following his rules and chanting the mantras, and for many years he was practicing these great austerities, and he became very powerful, his tejas was very strong. And one evening he sat down to chant, to meditate, and then probably it was the season of frogs wanted to mate, and they was singing and singing, a lot of frogs. But he was, because he was good yogi, I mean meditator, he said, I need to ignore this sound and I will go into meditation. But as much as he was trying to ignore, to neglect the sound, he couldn't. And then he raised up, he came to the window, and he, with a strong voice, he said, "Silence!" And all frogs were silent. And then he came back very happy. Now everything is in order, you know. He sat down and he started again to meditate. But in this case, in this moment now, the voice from inside interrupted him. The voice said, so we are never alone trying to control and shape the world as we would like. Krishna has, everyone has their place. Because listen now. And the voice said, do you think that the chanting of your mantras is more dear to God's ears than the singing of the frogs? I mean, the voice was very deep. Do you think? And it was very authentic and deep. And the priest said, well, what is so beautiful in the singing of the frogs? It's just some, sounds. And the voice said again with a deep and authentic voice, do you think that God accidentally created singing of the frogs? Well, no, it is said that that whatever He creates, it's full in itself. It's absolute and it's perfect. It's complementing everything. Is complementing each other. Then it's probably good. And then voice said, so go to the window and tell two frogs to sing. And then he came to the window and he said to sing. He was humbled. He accepted everyone as a part of reality. It's not that reality should be shaped according to his own, whatever he was imagining in his mind. But he said to frogs, please sing. And all frogs, they started to sing. And then, even in all those sounds of the frogs, he heard silence. It was total peace and silence. Because he accepted everyone as a part of wonderful reality of the moment now. And he accepted, yes. And then, he accepted the singing of the frogs as a wonderful creation of Lord Krishna. There must be something beautiful there. And then he opened another kind of ears and another kind of eyes and another kind of way of seeing reality around because of Lord's mercy. And then he came back. Already I said he came back, yes. He came back and he sat down to meditate, to chant, and for the first time in his life, he heard his prayers. And he entered into deep meditation and he experienced darshan. I mean, the darshan with true self, with the Lord, and with the reality of the Lord. I mean, wise people also, they say that there are two realities existing. My reality, no, how it goes, I forgot on English.
There are two worlds.
There are two worlds existing. My world and the real world. So this is something what helped me a lot when I was chanting individually or when I was trying to sing with devotees. First that I'm just small, humble person. Small, significant for Krishna. Like everyone is significant, but not better than others. Not someone who's supposed to control, who's supposed to judge, who's supposed to comment on everything around. At least, like Indra Prabhu said, at least for the duration of Kirtan. At least when Kirtan is there, we should think in terms of Trinadapi Sonichana Tarur Eva Sahishana Amanina Manadina Kirtaniya Sadahari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already gave long time ago this wonderful quote of his where he describes perfect attitude for Kirtan. There's nothing better you can think about what you should do in Kirtan. It's just simply to go into the meaning of this verse, of this quote of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and so Trinadapi Sunichana, you're more humble. Then which are piercing the heart. So wood and means more tolerant than a tree. So someone can cut the tree, and even the tree leaves the fragrance on the axe blade, you know, so you can smell. So the tree, even if you carve your names on the tree will continue to give you fruits, to give you shade. What else? We can urinate under the tree, but tree is giving us shade from the sun. It's not easy, yes, especially in the age today. We need to take in consideration, you know, the vibration which is vibrating around and making our minds a little bit twisted, distorted, and so that we it's not easy. It's not easy to focus yourself on this attitude, because most of the people are in opposite attitude. They're trying to show that they're the main. Everything should turn around them. The whole world should adjust to them. Most of people, consciously or unconsciously, react in such a way. It's really not so good position, and it's not so good vibration. But of course, this also can be trapped, because the nature of every being, it's wonderful. It's deep inside, buried, and we need to learn to become compassionate. This is like another type of attitude which we need to learn also in Kirtan, to develop some compassion, to understand people are not like this, you know, they are just trapped by fears, by anxieties, by uncertainties, and then by vibration of the holy name, by vibration which I, like a human being, experience on myself. I share with others, not in a way to control them, to force them to do some specific things, to change in a specific way as I would like them to change, but you just give the vibration as much as we can, the pure vibration of the holy name, and the holy name will start to dance in their hearts, and they will start to understand and recognize themselves, like it is described, the mirror of the heart, of the consciousness, like Cheto Darpana Marjanam, you know, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that the mirror of the heart is now a little bit blurry because of age, muddy, huh? Muddy, blurry, dusty, what not in this age now with so many, our consciousness is bombarded with so many things. From one side, by the Lord's mercy also, so that we can... Our past experiences also, yes. And it's so much dust there, so much loads on this mirror. But the chanting of the holy names, the Sankirtan, the singing of the holy names is cleansing this mirror. It's cleaning and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. If we're doing it properly, it's cleaning. And then we start to see that the mirror becomes slowly, shanai, shanai, like Lord Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita. He said, step by step, slowly the mirror of the heart of the consciousness or the consciousness becomes clear. Slowly, slowly, some part. Then you start to see, oh, look at me. I'm okay. It's okay. I'm totally okay. And then you start to recognize that actually you are the spiritual being. You know, like Lord Krishna described in Bhagavad Gita. What also we can mention like some step or principle on the way to, on the good mood in Kirtan, is that you start to see that you are spirit being hidden behind so many layers, you know. But layers are possible to remove with the process, specific process. But and then in this way, like Lord Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita, when we remove in our heart and we start to see ourselves and we become blissful, joyful, and we start to become giving person, not anymore from when we wake up, we start to think, how will I satisfy myself? You know? So in the same way, by seeing this process which is happening inside, the cleansing of the consciousness, the cleansing of the heart, and slowly we can reflect the vision of our true self on this mirror. In the same way we see, the other people, the devotees, everyone, in their own heart, it's happening the same thing. Like in my heart, the same thing is happening in the hearts of others. So, as we desire some space for ourselves, some acceptance, some love, some connection. And today is, like probably most of you know, it's International Day of Yoga.
Oh, yeah.
And it's yoga is helping a lot all around the world to many people. And literally yoga, as you probably know, means to be connected, to connect yourself, to link yourself with the Lord, and to accept, at least when we chant the holy name, at least when we meditate, to accept everything around as a wonderful mercy of the Lord. Whatever is happening, you're just a servant. There is no way that you adjust something for yourself. How can you adjust something what Krishna is already arranging? That means he's not right, he's stupid, and you're right, you know how things supposed to go. Then how it's possible to link yourself with the Lord? But like in marriage or like in relationship with the children, if you think that your spouse or your husband or your wife, they're stupid, how you can develop love? It's not possible. You need to, like Srila Prabhupada describes, Tesham satata yuktanam, he said, Bhajatam priti purvakam. He said, must be affection, pretty, yes. If you want to develop really relationship with the Lord Krishna, with what is the core of Kirtan, what is the core of attitude in Kirtan, must be some pretty. We need to make our heart that it's possible to receive pretty, affection. That affection starts to rule our heart, not fears, not anxieties or doubts or uncertainties. That's also normal, of course, and it's all guiding us in some specific way to the Lord. But it's really wonderful that we thinking about the pretty, about the affection, that we're thinking this is the only way. Like you cannot connect with someone who is judging you, who is blaming you non-stop, constantly something, and commenting about you something constantly. There's no connection. But if this person starts to look at you, with interest, with desire to learn about you, and like Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, he said that he described many kinds of saintly persons. Naturally, you develop a nice relation with this person. So in this way, when we meditate to accept everyone, whatever is happening around ourselves, like from the story about the singing of the frogs, then about the compassion, then about developing ability to feel affection in the heart, to not to be crushed and squeezed and shrinked by emotions like fear and anxiety, and we cannot live, we cannot breathe with our full heart. And one more thing, I also wanted to share something from my Guru Maharaj. He said, Krishna will descend into our hearts only if we are chanting in a service attitude with the intention to please Him. So this is the only way. There is no other way for love. Of course, everyone knows this. You never develop any relation with anyone if you force or beat this person, or you was judging this person. No. You show affection, you show interest. You show desire to serve, and these are the qualities which are actually something what should be in our mind when we desire to chant the holy name. And in this way, we also stay alive in our heart. We maintain this volcano, this more powerful than the universe, volcano of love in our hearts. Our hearts are very, very big, and our hearts are really amazing. Everyone's heart is really amazing, and through chanting and through association of devotees like all of you there, we really can experience all this what we are now speaking. So that was something what I want. Do you want to share something? No. The day before yesterday. Huh?
I want to share Kirtan.
Yes. And the day before yesterday we had the Rath Yatra here also in Rijeka in Croatia. And we had 4 wonderful Swamis, 4 wonderful exalted Vaishnavas. It was Praladananda Swami, Chandramauli Swami, Kadamba Kanana Swami, and Mahavishnu Swami, yes.
Yes.
And it was so wonderful Rath Yatra, it was so amazing Kirtan. And the people from the town was probably because of all this inescapable situations and all these troubles and uncertainties and this misfortune with this situation, what this situation is bringing. Probably people have more simpler search for happiness and their experience this singing so deeply actually. I saw many people around that there's much easier noticing the difference between suffering and happiness. And it's really great that the chanting of the holy names making this experience in people. So, thank you very much, dear devotees. Hopefully, something what we shared with you today will have some effect in you, and you will maybe use it when you chant. You can remember the story of the frogs, and you can try to remember that you need to show compassion, loving, affectionate compassion to others, especially to your family, to your spouses, to your children, to your neighbors and everyone around. And also to ourselves. And that is something what is coming slowly by doing all these things and paying attention to the serving the Lord and paying attention to this serving attitude. Like in serving attitude and intention to please the Lord. So let us start to sing, and we again very expressing our deep gratitude for this mercy and this wonderful opportunity to share these experiences and also the singing of the holy names. Hopefully that the sound and the picture is there, okay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Oh Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Oh, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 how quickly when we sing. It's so amazing how time flies when we sing the Maha Mantra. So thank you very much, dear devotees, dear wonderful Vaishnavas, and we're really very grateful that you included us here and with this exalted Vaishnavas. We are very small, humble devotees here, and hopefully meet you soon, somewhere live, and singing Kirtan and dancing and
Yes.
chanting ecstasy. Hari Hari Bol!
Hari Bol, Hare
Thank you very
Krishna.
much. Hari Bol.
It's a poem, but basically start. Many births of desires have burst up like fires. Therefore, the Kirtan charge is for humanity at large. It's a practice so cool, like the rays of the moon. It's the fruit of wisdom with joy that's arisen. So sweet to the taste, we go there in great haste. You who are divine, this sound is sublime. With thousands of names, they all are the same. In them, all energies are invested. The names are tested. And rules, not hard and fast, they're easy to pass. Out of sheer kindness, the sound is sure to bind us. Attractive, accessible, approachable, doable. But what is most unfortunate is I can't always appreciate it. To approach the sound, one must be humbly bound, like the straw in the street. One has to be meek, like a tall, stout tree, tolerant as can be. I'm telling you, brother, it's the ego we have to smother. RESPECT. Respect is how it should be. With the right attitude, the constant sound has platitude. O power behind the universe, I'm not looking to be fabulously rich, not to be overwhelmed by the lustful itch, nor entangled in the name, fame, itch. I'll have my bhakti list, though births persist. O son of Nanda, I love you, and I will assist you, but I'm in an ocean, drowning without devotion. Pick me up from this ocean of death before my last breath. While those lotus feet are handsome, place me there like an atom. When will the time come when tears of love will run and flow so constantly while chanting in ecstasy? When will my voice choke up in the course of shake-up? When will hairs stand on end as we chant to transcend? Lasts forever, like 12 years or whatever. Tears come like rain. Your absence gives such pain. This vacancy in life creates so much strife. But I know only you as my lover. There is no other. Even when it's rough, I'll never have enough of heartfelt embrace, or when we find no trace of you and your freedom to act. So I'll state the fact that I love you, I love you, I always will love you. Hare Krishna. Jai. So that is a rephrasal of the Śravana-kīrtana, composed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the father of the Holy Name, the initiator of this dynamic cultural paradigm shift for people in this age of what we call Kali, an age of darkness. And it's quite deep, his emotions and sentiments. I think we can concentrate a little bit on the third verse and look for a minute at the attitude that is required in terms of implementing this chanting dynamic. So it is understood from Shastra, it is understood from all the Pandits and the Acharyas and teachers in our lineage, that God represents himself more through the sound vibration than any other way. We can all relate to Krishna, for instance, in the form of his murti, that is his deity. We could relate to him in the form of prasadam, especially because that is really what stimulates the tongue and the belly and everything else. And Krishna can be appreciated in the form of sound instructions we find in the Shastras. But really the embodiment of Krishna for Kali Yuga is found in the name, the sound vibration. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu makes a point of it, like of all his teachings that have come out there, we have the written words of the 8 stanzas, the Śravana-kīrtana. And thank God we have them, because it seems to me that this needs to be the emphasis for people in this day and age to hone in on, to look at the Lord through this form of sound. So I was raised as a Christian, and we used to say a prayer, the Lord's Prayer, or Our Father. And it goes like this, starts like this: Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Okay? And then it goes on and talks about bread, daily bread, please give us this, give us that. But I was always like mystified by the term hallowed. What's hallowed? It sounds like Halloween. It's something mystical or something spooky or something. But really it's just referring to sacred is thy name, or holy is thy name. It's something otherworldly. You're not from this world. In fact, the acharyas say that the sound vibration, the name of the Lord, is imported from the spiritual world. It comes from, certainly comes from above, and it's not from this world. It's not local, but it's exotic, and it comes from some remote place, or it seems so. And now it has come here to be part of our existence. That is for those who want to embrace it. But not everyone does. Like even Lord Krishna states in the Gita that people explore the soul. They try to understand it. They read about it. They hear about it. And even after doing so, they don't, let's say, implement. They don't take part in it. They don't imbibe in it or assimilate that into their life. Even if it's convincing that, okay, I'm not this body. I'm a spirit. But still, they don't take practical application to it. They don't become spiritual. I mean, how many people have read Bhagavad Gita? Millions of people around the world, they have it in their, I've met people say, oh, I have that book, I have that book. Have you read it? So, well, I think I will now that I've met you. So, and the Bhagavad Gita is really, it's all about Krishna and the spirit of Krishna and the spirit of serving Krishna, instead of self-service. So even in the Gita, let's go for some messages that are delivered here in chapter 9. Krishna is talking about what is a Mahatma, and that's he says a Mahatma is someone who's satatam kirtayantu mam, yatantascha drida vrita, namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. So Krishna is telling us there that a person who's saintly by nature is someone who's engaged in the glorification of the Supreme. Not self-glorification, we've been doing that already. prior to coming to Krishna consciousness, we're very good at, let's say, boasting about ourselves. We're always showing our prowess somehow through the many lives that we've taken up. Now it's time to make a shift. Now it's time to do something a little different, and that is to glorify Krishna. And that's what chanting is all about. It's recognizing God in sound. The term kirtan appears in the Bhagavad Gita. It also appears in the Bhagavatam. But let's look at an example from the Bhagavatam. Here's a question that is raised in the Bhagavatam. Okay, now that I'm about to die, what should I do with myself? If you ask the average person on the street, if you get up, as soon as you have a microphone, you say, oh, someone's important here. And the camera behind, and they're on the spot. So if you knew you're going to die in 1 week, like is the case in the Bhagavatam, what would you do with yourself? I'll probably go to Vegas. I'll go to Disney World. I'll spend all my money. I'll get drunk. I'll find some women. Blah blah blah. And it goes on and on. Trying to jam pack all the sense gratification. But really, the answer to that question, which is a piece of dialogue between the sage and the king, which is usually what it is in our shastras and our scriptures. The answer is that you've got to engage in the glorification of the Supreme Lord, the cause of all causes, the sarva karana karana. And by doing that, you're giving praise to yourself. We're understood that we're part and parcel of the Supreme. So if we glorify the whole in which we are part of, we feel then included. Why be exclusivistic? Why just talk about yourself? Because on your own, you have no power. But when you are part of the whole powerhouse with Krishna, then we can say, okay, I'm in safe territory. I'm doing good. In fact, in the Bhagavatam, it is also stated much later on, we appreciate that this is the age of Kali, it's a dark time, people very rarely get together to discuss what is the prime duty, and they engage in all kinds of self-indulgences. So we call this an age of faults. It's Kalera Dosha, and the Kalera refers to the age of Kali, and that there's lots of just problems. Kalera Dosha, I might not be saying it properly exactly, but to me it's like a dosa, I don't like dosas, I have to admit, it's not my cup of tea, I'd rather take a chapati paratha any day. So it's a problematic scenario. And to make good of that which is bad, to make the best use of a bad bargain, is to use it as much as you can. So what is there that is usable? And that is, again, the kirtan. Kirtanat eva krishnasya mukta sangha param prajit. That's the thing that shines through this dark age that we live in. Well, it sounds kind of pessimistic, that this is a dark world, that everything's quite negative, and really it is. Let's be quite realistic. At the same time, we must see that this world is a place where we have a chance. We have a chance to get out of this cycle of birth and death. And I thought that's very interesting in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sikshastakam. He's saying that regardless of the fact that I might take many births again, I hope to always be in the position that I can be a servant of the Lord. Right? And some of us have wretched bodies, some of us have fantastic bodies, and some of us have good-looking bodies, and yet we have a demented mind. And some of us are maybe perhaps homely looking, but we have a good heart. The karma is such that it never all comes together to be beautiful. There's only one person who has all the everything wrapped together in an auspicious way, and that is Krishna. That's God. I was talking to somebody just the other day. One definition of God is that one who takes no supplements or doesn't need to take any supplements. Because most of the people I know, they have to have they pop a pill because of some deficiency. And when we talk about Bhagavan, which is a perfect name for God, we're talking about someone who has it all of the qualities. So all these qualities are actually invested in the name. That's also expressed in the Śravana-kīrtana by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's verse number 2. All that is powerful and all that is spiritual is invested in this name. Now, if that is the case, why is it that I cannot feel it? I mean, sometimes I can feel it, and sometimes I cannot. And the reason is because when we're in a neophyte stage, we're just in the beginning stage, and maybe even crawling into the middle stage of what we call Bhakti, Bhajan, Adhikari, is that because we're still somewhat diseased, and it takes time for the healing to take shape. It just takes time. So from our side, we simply have to apply some patience and tolerance and acceptance that this is the way it is. I became entrenched in Maya in a big way for many, many lifetimes. And so that's why things are what they are. I sunk down deep. I went down really low. And so because of that, it's going to take some time for me to come up and rise up to the occasion and really appreciate the sound. I found it interesting that in the Śravana-kīrtana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself admits that I don't have a taste for the name. And when I first heard that, I thought, oh my God, what a relief, you know, I'm not the only one. I like Kirtan, I like Japa. I probably like Kirtan more than I do Japa. Why? Because I'm that kind of a person who likes to do things in a teamwork with other people. And that's just my preference. Krishna also talks about Japa in the Bhagavad Gita as a form of sacrifice. And of course we mentioned about Kirtan, which involves more people. For Kali Yuga to really feel strong and to feel like you can take up, be a combatant against the onslaught of Maya, requires for us to be doing things together. You cannot take up an army all by yourself. It's just impossible. You have to have a bunch of guys around you. Right in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it's implied there. You know, Duryodhana has a discussion and he's saying, these are all the people we have here. By the way, guys, make sure that there's you all give support to Bhishma Dev, you know, that reinforce each other. So reinforcement in Kali Yuga doesn't mean with bows and arrows. And even in Kali Yuga, it's implied that the Lord comes not with a bow and an arrow. He does not come with a gada. He doesn't come with the slicey Sudarshan Chakra, you know, clean cut program. He actually comes with his sangha, his devotees. And so the strength lies in the spirit, and the strength lies in the association that you have, the sangha. It's so important. So that is what's emphasized. It's hard to make spiritual progress just on one's own. You have to have a group, and this is what makes Kirtan so happy. Now, very shortly I'll have someone with me. He's a fantastic mridanga player, and his name is Dwarkanath, and he's also a fantastic cook. I'm not sure which is better, you know, his mridanga playing or his cooking. I think probably they're on par with each other. I would say that, you know, and it's nice to have him in your company. He also has a tremendous, fantastic attitude, an attitude of service, and always playing a humble role. He doesn't have a political bone in his body, so you know, that's why it's just so nice to have him around. And if he's not around for a while, I'll miss him dearly. So, anyways, he might be coming up the stairs. We're doing a lot of renovations in our building here in Toronto, some demolition and so on like that. And so when we take to chanting Krishna's name with the same thing, this body is taken to be like a building, and you're doing a reno job for it. It's a readdressing the body, the physical body. And as much as we know it's important to keep the body clean on the outside, we also understand it's important to have implement that shuchiness, the cleanser from within. And that is done through chanting Krishna's name. And so we invite you all to participate with us in this chanting, right from the heart of, well, the central part of Canada. And what's so nice, it doesn't matter where you are, this holy name gets vibrated, throughout the world. And through technology, which is Krishna's technology, we can now see that materializes. And so we have Dwarkanath Prabhu here now. I already really pumped him up, of course he wasn't here to hear about his own glories. We're going to just set the camera as best as we can, and we're going to do, he just came back from cooking, and he smells like haldi and jeera. Okay, so we're going to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is our mandate for now. Thank you for listening. I think it's time, is it not? For our kirtan. Yep. And I'll take this here. Thank you very much for listening. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And so I'll lead the kirtan, and we're going to ask if you can respond to it. Our program is receive and respond. Śravana-kīrtana. Kirtana. Kirtana. Hare Krishna. All right. I guess we can start with our invocation. I already mentioned about Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitamina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama.